Hello, everyone, and welcome back to At America TV. My name is James, one of the e-guides here at America, and we welcome our audience members joining us online. We hope that you're doing well and staying safe. At America is the United States Embassy's American Center, and our mission is to provide a space for young Indonesians to learn more about the United States. In this episode, we will be having Painting on My Mind, Women's Empowerment. But before we begin, let's break the ice with a little game. I have here a question for everyone. True or false, Mary Cassatt is the only American female artist that is officially associated with Impressionism. Stay tuned until the end of this program because we'll be giving a live shout out to whoever can answer correctly on our social medias. I'd also like to let everyone know that as continuation of Ed America's 10th anniversary celebration and Women's History Month in March, we are holding an activity along with several giveaways. Those giveaways are 10 tablets for 10 lucky winners. So if you're interested, stay until the end of this program to find out more. Other than that, don't forget to take a selfie and tag at America's Instagram account. And now, without further ado, let me introduce everyone to Natasha Buniman from Bartega Studios. Kak Natasha, the stage is yours.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to At America's special class celebrating Women's Month. And today we're meeting a special artist, and her name is Georgia. Let me start sharing my screen. Okay, I think I need to get the access to share my screen. All right, very much. So thank you everyone again for joining for today's painting class. We're celebrating women, so women's empowerment, and we will highlight this special artist, and her name is Georgia. So what is Women's History Month? So in the United States of America, in March every year, they have decided that it's a time for them to celebrate women. And it started early in 1978. So there were educators in Santa Rosa, California, and they wanted to raise awareness of how important women's contributions are in society. And as we all already know, only men were celebrated in the past, and they wanted women's um, help to be celebrated in the United States. And in 1980, President Jimmy Carter actually announced that March 8th will be a special week for them to celebrate women. And he stated the achievements, leadership, courage, strength, and love of the women who built America was as vital as that of the men whose names we know so well. So it's such a historical time in history, and ever since then, until today, not only for a week, for a whole month in the month of March, women are celebrated in America and around the world even. And so they have special exhibitions usually in museums, or they have special events just celebrating the works of women all year round. So this is what Women's History Month is. And who is Georgia O'Keeffe? So she's the artist that we're highlighting for tonight's class. So she's a very special woman. She was born in 1887, and she's inspired by nature. All her paintings are mostly inspired by nature, mountains, flowers, the deserts, and she made a history because in 1920, so in New York, she was named to be one of the women who started modernism, which is a very important um, time in the arts. It's a new style of artwork that is very simple, but also very different, very unique. So Georgia O'Keeffe actually was respected in the New York's art world back in the day. So this is a little bit of a timeline. So she was born in 1887. She was born in Wisconsin, which is in Midwest of America. Um, Very cold in the wintertime. And then she studied in Chicago and in New York. studied arts. And in 1916, she actually had her first solo exhibition, and he, she actually became husband and wife with the man Alfred Stieglitz, who was a dealer and who helped her make the exhibition alive at that time. And in 1930, um, she actually moved to New Mexico, and that's when her husband passed away. So she moved to New Mexico, and at that time in New Mexico, she actually got so inspired by all the things around her in New Mexico, the nature and the deserts, and that's where she really found herself and her artworks in 1930. And she passed away in Santa Fe, Mexico, at the age of 98. So this is a little bit of her timeline, her life, and as I said, what I said before, her inspiration is are mostly landscapes, flowers, the deserts, and skulls. Even when she's in New Mexico, she's um, located in the desert. So actually, all the nature around her inspired her artworks. As you can see, all the beautiful artworks here, the mountains, and all the bold colors of modernism, the flowers. She really goes into the flowers, like zooming in instead of going out. She actually goes deep inside the flowers and the texture and the movement of the flowers, the shapes of um, the little details of the flowers, and also the skulls. You can see the amazing colors that she uses to portray the artworks that she made. And again, for her art style, it's called modernism. And these are inspired, actually, it's a mix of abstraction and realism. So it looks like an abstract work, but it's actually real. So that's why we call it it's an abstraction and realistic at the same time. And the composition that she plays around with her artworks is what's amazing about it. It's different. It's like when you look at nature and then you just crop it out like very zoomed in, and then you see, oh, so this is a flower up close, and it became her beautiful artwork. And she's also known to have a very feminine factor to her artworks, as you can see. So her artworks are actually nature, but she classifies it, and it appears as very feminine shapes and like body parts of a woman. So yeah, so she actually really, these are what makes her style very renowned and very, it's the pioneer of her um, style and at that time. And yeah, so that is it about Georgia O'Keeffe, and we will also create our own Georgia O'Keeffe inspired artwork like this one. So it's actually a beautiful painting of trees. So the trees are combined together. It looks like they're part of the skies and the clouds. And we picked the color pink and green because it's springtime. So these colors are very happy, and we're 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 ready to just enjoy the outdoors. And although it's really hot now, so everyone make sure you take care of your health. But yeah, so who's ready to paint? And I will start sharing my canvas and we will start painting. So I have a 30 times 40 canvas here. And today we are starting with a blank canvas. Okay, everyone. So we're starting with a blank canvas, but I already sketched a little bit. So everyone, you can start grabbing a pencil or a chalk if you have. We're going to start with sketching first. I'm going to use a marker just so you can see clearly what I'm sketching. So it's easier if we start sketching first. So I'm just gonna show you how to start. So for the painting itself, we're going to be painting three big trees and two smaller trees on the bottom here. So we're just gonna look at our canvas, and it doesn't have to be exactly the same as mine. I'm just going to start sketching some, it's as if I'm painting really big clouds, but the clouds are very zoomed in. So it's not really exactly like you can see creeping, it's zoomed in and it's mostly cropped by the canvas. So I'm just gonna make for the top right here, it's like a little squiggly line like this. So you can just start with that. Just small sketches. I'm using a marker just because you can see. So you can use a pencil, okay? You don't need to use a marker. I'm just using a marker so you can see what I'm sketching. I'm gonna make a small squiggly line here as well on the left side. So it's as if I'm making a big cloud on the top. It's actually the first tree. So I'm making a squiggly line here as well. Like that. On the right. Because it doesn't have to be exactly the same as I mentioned. Just just have fun. We're just gonna color in these curly lines later with blocks of color. So don't worry. If you make a mistake with your pencil initially, you can just cover it with the colors later, okay? Make us like some cloud here. Bottom here. Again, don't be afraid to make mistakes. This is everyone's painting will be different, and even my painting with the example will be different. Okay. All the squiggles. So we're going to color the squiggly lines with pink, green. It looks really weird now, but it's gonna make sense later. So we're just sketching the shapes of the trees. Squiggly, squiggly lines. This is one tree. This is the first tree. This is the second tree. Sketching my third tree here. Like one big blob of shape here. Bottom part here is a cloud. That's about it. We're going to just make some shapes like this. We're going to color block each shape later. And this will be the first tree, this will be the second, third, there will be two smaller trees. Just take your time sketching some shapes. You can also, if it helps, you can also look at the actual photo of the painting. If it helps, usually you can just open the photo of the painting with, and then you can try sketching. Put it together. Wait for around 5 minutes until everyone's finished sketching. And just use a pencil. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just briefly just sketch the shapes, and then after this, we'll just color in the colors accordingly. One okay? Susah. Kalau ada pertanyaan, let me know, okay? Don't be shy. Just scream my name and let me know. Natasha, I have a question. Having trouble sketching it.
Natasha,
Yes?
this is okay?
Yeah, that looks good, Rashi.
Yeah.
Nice. Good
Thank
job.
you.
Yes. How is everyone else doing? It helps, right, to look at the actual painting. Just let your hands relax. Go with the flow. Jangan kaku-kaku. Just let your hands move around and follow the shapes. Again, it's very organic and natural. And just like Georgia O'Keeffe, we want to be as natural and as organic as possible. Anyways, our paintings are inspired by the nature, right?
Excuse me, guys, is this okay?
Hi, Alma. Yeah, that looks good. Yes, good job, Alma.
Okay, thank you. Yay!
Alma, how old are you? I think I see you in class every month. You're doing great.
A few months ago, I just turned 12.
Ah, happy belated birthday. Yeah. Okay, 3 more minutes, everyone. And then we start painting, okay?
Hi, Natasha.
Yes, Amalia.
I asked what about mine? Is it you can see it or not?
Yeah, I think it's a bit tuh agak kurang jelas.
Agak kurang jelas ya?
That looks good. Yeah, that looks good. Yeah, it's just yang ada the shape kok. It's fine.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Okay, 2 more minutes, everyone. Oops, my iPad is it. So before we start, you can get your paint ready, your canvas, your palette, some water. We're using acrylic paint today. So acrylic paint is water-based. So if you haven't painted before, okay, I'm just gonna put this down. So I got a glass of water ready. So everyone, you can start getting your materials ready. This is the water cup that I'm gonna use. I will be using different size brushes. So I have a large brush, a medium brush, and some smaller brushes. So get your brushes ready. I'm gonna put it in here. I will only be using primary colors today, acrylic paint. So I have red, I have yellow, and I have blue. So from these three colors, I'll be mixing them up with black and white as well. So I have white and I have black. So I'm just gonna mix all 5 colors together to get other colors. And get your palette ready. This is to mix your paint together. And if you have an apron, you can wear your apron as well, just to make sure you don't get any paint on your clothes or table. And yeah, that's about it. And get some tissue or some cloth ready to clean your brush, okay? Oh, just want to see some thumbs up when you're ready so we can start painting. Thank you. Okay. So let's start.
Excuse me, Natasha.
Yes.
Which number brush do we need?
I'm going to use all the different size brushes, but I think we'll start with the largest size, which is size number 11.
Okay.
Yeah, 11 and 9. I think we'll be using them first for now.
Okay. And the yellow color is the lemon yellow or the yellow ochre?
It is yellow. Which yellow do you have?
Actually, I don't have the kit from here,
Oh,
but I
okay.
have this one.
Oh,
The
yes, yes. I think the yellow does. Do you have green?
Yeah, I have green also. The
Uh-huh.
green also I have three shades. Yellow also I have three shades.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
It really doesn't matter, Rashi.
Okay.
Whichever color you like. So we're going to make green later by mixing blue and yellow together. But if you have green already, you can
Yeah,
just
I have green.
yeah, you can just use your green and then add some white.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, let's start, everyone. I'm gonna start with let's start with pink. I think it's really pretty. So for pink, I'm just gonna mix red and white. Okay. So get your palette and then you can mix some red. I'm gonna take some red on my palette like this, and some white. White. Gonna mix these two colors together. Oops, I think I and as Rashi was asking, the size of the brush. So I'm just gonna use my largest brush because this is covering most like a big chunk of the area of my canvas. So I'm going to use a large brush. So I will start mixing my white and my red together like this. Getting a nice pink shade. I don't want it to be too light, so I'm just adding more red to it, just mixing it together. I have a nice shade of pink. It's not too bright. So it's around 50-50 white and red. Yeah, so it's like deep strawberry milk color. Yeah. I mixed it right away without any water for now because I think it's good enough. And once you have your pink, I will start coloring this first blob on the top part. If you see, we sketched like this huge blob on the left here going down here. So we're going to color the whole thing with pink. So if you want it to be more watery, you can dip your brush in the water a little bit like this, just a little bit. It'll be fine. And then start coloring and following the shape first of your lines. We're going to leave this part for the blue later for the skies. I'm just gonna start following my lines. And then after that, coloring it in. Okay, so this is where I'm going to color everything with pink. If your paint is dry, you can just dip it in water a little bit and then add it to your mixture, and then your paint will be more more watery, yeah? Like this. I'm just following the lines first before I color everything in. So outlining it with my paint brush. Okay, so once I did that, I will start painting this whole area with pink.
There's no specific brush stroke you can paint it. Just any way is fine. But usually after I do this, I will just tidy it up in one brush stroke like that. Okay. And don't forget this part on the left. Color everything in pink. Like if you see it from afar, it looks like cotton candy. So fluffy. Cotton candy tree. I'm done with my pink part. I'm gonna let it dry. And once you're done with your brush, I use my largest brush and then just put it in the water, okay? We make sure we put our brushes in the water once we finished using them, if we're using acrylic paint, because acrylic paint dries really quickly. So if we don't put it in the water, it will dry up and our brush will be broken. Won't be able to use them anymore. Once you're done with your pink tree, give me a thumbs up again. Thank you. I'll wait for another minute or two. Maybe wait till some more thumbs up. Everyone should have their cotton candy cloud by now. Next, we can go to our green one. Okay. So for green, if you have primary colors, get your yellow and blue out. For maybe Rashi, if you have green, you can just take your green out and then you can mix it with white. Okay? So I'm going to start Putting some yellow on my palette. And some blue. Okay, yellow and blue. And I'm going to use my number 9 brush because it's clean now. I'm gonna use your large brush again, 9 or 11, and mix the two colors together. It looks really dark now, but what we will do is we will mix the color, the dark green, with white. Okay, so add some white or green. Just mix until you get a nice shade of green that you like. Add more yellow here. So just yellow, blue, and white. I think I want to add more white to make it more light. Really minty color, the mint green color. Who loves mint chocolate chip ice cream here or any mint flavored ice cream? This looks like it, the color. Yeah. And just mix and get the mint green color or ready. Adding a little bit more white. I want to make it more milky and pastel. Who loves pastel colors here? Pastel colors is any color when you mix it with white. Okay, so I think I'm done with my green color. I'm just gonna color this cloud here. If you see this blob here on the right and bottom. So this whole thing, I'm just gonna cover it with green. Okay.
Hello, Zaskia Amalina. Do you want to rotate your camera? Because right now we're seeing you sideways. Thank you. Yes, that's great. Thank you.
Wait. Mm,
Yes, Alma?
yeah. I just wanted to ask how you did the what do you call it now? How did you mix the green? Because I was filling up my bucket.
Okay, no worries.
Yeah,
You get your yellow and blue color. Yellow and blue. And
Yeah.
then you mix these two colors together to get green. And then your green, add a lot of white to it. So we're making a really nice light mint green color. Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm gonna add more white. Again, if you want to make it more watery, just add a little bit of water to your paint. This. I'm using a slightly smaller brush, size 9, but you can use any brush you want. Okay. Just cover this cloudy blob on the top, bottom right with green. Okay. And I'm gonna put my brush in the water. Give me a thumbs up when you're done with the green. Two more minutes. For the next color, we're going to just add some white to some parts of these little blobs here. So these are the actual clouds. So get a clean white, some clean white paint here. And I will use my number 7 brush, slightly smaller, so it's easier to control. And it looks like I'm not painting anything, but this is actually me painting it with white. I'm just painting this part with white, the smaller cloud here, the bottom of my pink tree. Just coloring this part with white. This part's also white. Just coloring in the parts where these are actual clouds. Looks like I'm not coloring anything. You can actually add a little bit of blue shade to the clouds. So if you see me add a drop of blue, and then just add some shade, and then add more white. Here as well. A little bit shade of blue, mixing it to the white. And more clouds here on the side. And yeah, we only have 3 of these clouds. And I'm just gonna do this right away. So after I painted the 3 clouds with white, I'm going to make light blue color. So Rashi, it's actually phthalo blue. You can use your blue. And then just mix some blue with white. And then you get a nice light blue color like this. I'm going to add a little bit of the green to my blue. So I want to make my blue a bit yellowish green, not too strong of a light blue. Mixing a little bit of yellow as well and green. More blue. So my blue is not exactly blue and white. It's more of blue, white, and a little bit of yellow. More blue. Just mixing the right shade of blue that I want. Okay. I'm gonna add a little bit more white as well to my blue. More white. I think I'm liking my blue now. It's like blue, white, and a little bit of yellow / green. I'm gonna use my blue here to fill in all the other empty puzzles of blobs in our painting. Like we're painting blobs, right? I'm gonna paint this part with blue. You can use, I'm using a size 7. I think it's just about right because I need to be able to fill in small parts. So I can't really use a large brush for this one because I need to slowly follow the shapes. Or you can use a smaller brush too if you want, maybe a size 5. Around that. Cover this part with blue. How's everyone doing? Forget these two triangles on the sides. Have one on the left, one on the top. And yeah, so you covered most of the canvas now with all the colors like this. I think for my green, I'm just gonna add a lighter shade because I feel like my green and my blue is too similar. So I'm adding some more white to my green. This. Painting around my green. Again, the beauty of acrylic paint is when your paint is dry, you can easily just add another layer on top. I'm just doing this because I think my green is a bit too dark, so I'm just adding another layer of lighter green. So I'm just adding more white to my green. And then slowly just covering it with my largest brush. It's really easy, just adding another layer on top like this. And we're going to be adding some more details on the trees as well. So it's just a base color to make it more bright. Now I can see the contrast between the blue and the green more, right? I think before it was too similar. The green is too similar to the blue. I'm just adding more white. But if yours is already good enough, I think it's fine. Okay. Once you're done with your blue and you think your colors are nicely contrasted with each other, colors are nice, you can start touching your pink tree if it's dry. And start adding some layers later after. We're going to start making the tree barks after this, okay? So I'll wait for 1 minute, 2 minutes, and we're going to make brown together for the tree barks. Okay, let's start mixing some brown. Is everyone done with their skies? With their blue skies? Gimana semuanya? Udah bikin all the squiggly lines on the canvas. Looks really complicated, but it's actually quite therapeutic, yeah. It's just coloring in colors and the shapes. So I will start making some dark brown color. So the trick is just to mix 2 colors together. Actually, 3, red, black, and white. So actually, I'm going to mix my pink with some black. Okay, and I'm gonna add a little bit more red as well. So I'm just gonna add black and red. Colors. And I will use my size 5 brush. Size 5. And I will slowly mix these 2 colors together, red and black. If you can see, I'm getting a really nice brown color. I'm just gonna mix a little bit of pink to it as well. Add more red. Jadi warna coklat if you mix red and black and a little bit of white. See? Can add more red to make it more light. So this part, you can either start right away. If you're confident enough, you can just start adding the branches. If not, you can use a pencil and then slowly sketch first if where you want your tree to be. So for example, I'm just gonna use a marker again like last time so you can see. So I just slowly put, oops, watch out if the paint is still wet. I'm just gonna sketch on top of my paint. You can use pencil or Like that. I will color this part with my tree bark. There will be a tree on the left side as well. So today is sort of like an abstract class, if you can say it that way. All the different shapes that you're exploring, right? So be a tree here. Okay, I think I'm just gonna right away use my brown color and then start coloring in my trees. Taking my leap of faith and just coloring it in. Oops, accidentally put black. For the branches, you can slowly just paint the branches or just follow me. Or you can also do it freestyle. Again, this is the nature. All trees are different. I don't think there's a tree that's exactly like the tree at another tree. Just make the branches. Everyone concentrating on their tree barks. Everyone doing okay? Again, just want to remind you all that everyone's trees will be different. It doesn't have to be exactly the same, okay? So I'm still working on my 3 trees. Wow, that sounds like a pun. And I will add 2 more branches here. Actually, it's a smaller one. And for this branch here, the 3 barks, it's actually dark blue. So I'm just gonna wash my brush for a bit. Get my cloth or tissue, clean my brush. And I will mix some black and some blue. I have some leftover blue here, just taking that blue. So it's more of a dark darker shade of blue instead of red this time. And if you have some white, you can mix a little bit of white. So it looks a bit like dark blue color, okay? I'm just gonna paint two small branches here. I think I want to add more white here for my cloud, just an extension. And then I'm gonna paint my two small trees on this side. With this painting, you can just keep adding layers. And you can already see these are two, like a beautiful painting of beautiful trees. Before it looked just like colorful blobs. And add a little bit white here, and then add my trees. So I have a small tree here. Can't really see the blue. I'm just gonna add a little bit of white. We're gonna add a lot of highlights afterwards as well for the details of the trees. Yes. Right here. Here. Okay. There's a smaller tree on the side. Like that. I'm just gonna wait till my trees are dry, and just gonna wait till everyone's done with their tree barks, and we're going to continue on and paint the details of the trees after. Okay, I'm gonna wait for 5 minutes. Give me a thumbs up when you're done. Oke, gimana semuanya? Aku mau mulai add detail-detail ya di pohon-pohonnya. Semuanya udah gimana dengan tree barks-nya? Udah oke? Ini mau kasih lihat progresnya. Gimana Bu Mary? Kak Mary?
Dikit lagi, Kak.
Dikit lagi ya. Udah, aku tunggu 3 menit lagi deh.
Thank you.
Iya. Mana semuanya? How are your branches and trees? Udah kelihatan kayak pohon ya sekarang. Udah nggak kayak awan-awan aja. Tinggal final details aja nih. Tambahin detail di pohon, sama di batang-batangnya, oke? Okay? I will start mixing another color. It's actually similar to the bark color, but it's actually dark pink. Very dark pink. So I'm using my size 5 brush. I'm just gonna take some red, a lot of red actually, and a little bit of white. So it's very dark red. You can add a little bit of the brownish color too if you want. So you can add a little bit of black, which is the color of the tree. So you have a nice darkish red color. Okay, like this. Has a dash of pink to it. So once you have this dark pink color, you can start adding details. Oops, I think this is a bit too dark, so I'm just gonna add more white. Okay, like this. Add a little of red to it. Yeah, I'm making squiggly lines just to add. The trick is to let your hand relax and just let it flow. Just adding some patterns to your trees. Jadi the color is a darker color, a darker shade of the pink that we used as the background. Okay. I'm just adding some dark pink here. Just some pattern making it looks like batik in a way, batik awan if you're familiar. Just adding patterns to the existing, so to make it less flat, so it's actually more alive. Just adding a pattern here, curly, dark pink pattern in this area here. Anyone, if you have any questions, don't please ask, okay? Don't be shy.
I'm sorry. Can I ask?
Yes, of course.
How do you make the red dot color? Because I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. Don't say sorry. You mix red and white. Jadi you mix more red and less white, but add a little bit of black as well to make it more. So it's similar to this color, but the black is just a teeny weeny bit.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
yes.
Okay, thank you, Natasha.
Iya, sama-sama Amalia.
Yeah.
Ini masukin sini juga. You just paint some pattern. Just adding random patterns on the trees. Just be free and just follow the lines of the tree bark, the branches. I think this is not. I'm using a slightly smaller brush. I'm using a size 5, okay? And I'm gonna add some here as well, a squiggly line. Another squiggly line on this side. Going to add some yellow after this as well. Okay. Something like this. So I'm just gonna wait for another 2 to 3 minutes until everyone's done with their dark pink patterns. And then we're going to move on to the dark green patterns, okay? Don't forget to give me a thumbs up when you're done with the pink, dark pink patterns.
Can I ask?
Yes? Does anyone have any question?
How to
Hello? Oh, I can't hear you. I think you muted yourself.
what's the color to make darkness?
Oh, yes, dark pink is more red, a little bit of white, and 1 drop of black.
Thank you.
You're welcome. How's everyone doing with their dark pink patterns? Quite simple, right? Just all the squiggly lines. Doesn't have to be perfect. It adds an oomph to the tree, actually. It really makes your tree pop up. And we will add more highlights later as well. Okay, so I'm gonna start making the patterns for the green one. And I'll wash my brush. I'm gonna use the same size, number 5. So for this one, it's dark green. So it's actually the same green color. So I'm just gonna mix blue and yellow and white, but less white. So same shade, blue and yellow. And also some white. Just a little bit of white. And you get a darker green. It's actually the same green, it's just darker shade because the first layer is really bright, has a lot of white to it. I'm just gonna start adding the details. Like this. And this part's a bit more of like a squiggly line. Actually, for this part, I'm going to color the bottom part with this darker green, slowly going downwards like this. So it's as if the tree has different shades of colors. I'm gonna add a little bit more white to blend slowly. The green, the green tree is more festive. You have more intricate lines, so just explore and do what you can. The patterns, okay? and down, up and down. The squiggly lines are more advanced a little bit. Okay, once you're done with the squiggly lines of the dark green, I'm gonna go ahead and add the highlights right away because it's just following the same patterns.
Um,
Yes?
Miss Natasha.
Yes?
I kind of forgot how to do the green part again. The dark green.
Oh, the color you mean?
Yes, the color.
Oh, yes. You just mix blue and yellow.
Yeah.
Blue and yellow and a little bit of white.
Ah, okay, okay. Thanks.
Yes, you're welcome, Alma.
Because I kind of got a bit slowed down.
It's okay. Take your time.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. You're doing great. Yes. Yeah. It's a good trick actually for all of you who want to paint next time. It's a lot of practice on seeing how acrylic paint works. Just add one layer and then add another layer and then next layer, and it's really clear in this painting that you're adding just layers on layers on layers, and you can get a lot of patterns. This is actually one trick that I always like to do on my paintings as well. I just like to keep adding layers to my paintings. Yeah. So actually, I'm gonna go to where it's almost 8 p.m. So we're gonna just continue with the patterns right away. I'm gonna use the same brush again, size 5 or 3. I think I'm gonna use a smaller size. I'm gonna use size 3. And I'm gonna mix white and yellow. I'm gonna take some yellow paint. I'm gonna mix it with white, just a light yellow. Add more white. Okay. So with this yellow, I'm gonna add another layer of patterns to the pink tree. Okay. So I think by now the dark pink is already dry. So you can add another layer of squiggly lines to complement the first layer, making it more bright. See, it's really pretty. Just add layers of yellow. Add it here. And here as well. Just adding another layer of patterns supporting the pink ones, the darker pink colors. Just like adding highlights. So again, this really reflects the idea of abstract slash realism. If you think about it, this seems as it looks like the sun hitting the trees, and these are the sunlight reflected on the trees, but in a way it looks really abstract. Not doesn't look real. So this is what's great about Georgia O'Keeffe's art style. Adding some yellow, that. You can see how your trees are popping up right now. Pop of colors. And while we're still on the yellow, you can start adding some lines here as well. Use the tip of the brush and just add lines on the bark. This. Adding some details on the tree bark. Almost done, guys. We're just doing the final touches of our beautiful Georgia O'Keeffe trees. All doing amazing. Can't wait to see all the results.
Hello, Natasha.
Yes.
Do you mind telling me how to make the color mix for the bark of trees? I kind of log in late, so I just finished the background.
Oh, yes, no worries. The color for the trees, it's red and black. So you mix red and black and a white, a little bit of white. So it's
Red,
actually,
black, and white.
yes, more,
Okay.
more red, more red.
More of red. Okay. Thanks
Yes.
a bunch, Natasha.
You're welcome. And for the green tree, for the highlights, I will use white, okay? Right away. So instead of yellow, I'm gonna use white for the highlights for the green tree. Just white paint. Add the squiggly lines. Ooh, like ice cream. Add some squiggly lines. Tree here. Forget the part here. Like this. Add some highlights on the edges as well. You can also do that. So it's really cool how it's like a trick to the eyes. It looks like clouds, but they're not actually clouds. They're actually trees. And blend a little bit of the green more. And last but not least, I'm just gonna make some light blue color. So just blue and white. Just add some highlights to my small trees here. Tidying up the clouds with some leftover white paint. You can always do this, okay? If you have some leftover paint, you can just add another layer of paint to some areas that you think can add a little bit of more details, and I think more layers always makes your painting nicer. The colors are more bolder. So you have your final painting. Last but not least, once you're done with your painting, don't forget to sign your name anywhere on the canvas. You can use your paint, or you can use a marker. How is everyone doing? I can start handing it over to James once everyone's done. Hope everyone had a nice time and relaxing time painting the beautiful trees and clouds. So 2 times passed just like that. It's really fast when you're having fun, right? Wow, look at everyone's trees. So pretty. Oh, Alma, I'm so proud of you. Atika.
Hi, Natasha. I think we're gonna wait until 10 past 8. At that time, we're gonna take pictures with everyone. Okay?
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, can everybody show their work now? We're gonna take pictures. Please turn on your camera. Tar, tunggu James. Tunggu James, James.
I haven't finished, sir.
No problem. No problem.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Let's see. Maybe the one that hasn't finished. Let's see your work in progress. Cool. Everybody, smile. One. Smile. Another one. And last one. Look at the flash. Okay. Cool. So Natasha, are we good?
Yes, good job, everyone. All the people so beautiful. Feels like spring. Feels like we're in Japan. Surrounded by beautiful trees. Good job, everyone. So thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. I hope you had a really nice time tonight. Yeah, and everyone, please stay safe, healthy, and happy. And I hope to see you again in the next session. Okay. And maybe I'll head it over to James now for the question.
Thank you so much to Natasha for such a very fun session. Earlier in the event, we asked our audience members a question, and that question is: true or false, Mary Cassatt is the only American female artist that is officially associated with Impressionism? And the correct answer to that is true. The first Impressionist work that she exhibited in the United States in the Lodge was painted in 1878. Congratulations goes to Mary Diana Bahrun from Zoom for answering correctly. And thank you to everyone who has participated. Don't forget to tune in next time for another chance to get a shout out from us. I'd also like to remind all our audience members of our giveaways, the 10 tablets for our 10 lucky winners. If you're still interested in joining, visit our link at bit.ly/WHMinspire for more information. Now you may be wondering, how could I develop an awesome idea for a place like this? It's very easy. All you need to do is go to our website at www.atamerica.or.id, select create a program and click collaborate with us. All event proposals coming to us will be reviewed and your event might be featured here soon. You can also subscribe to our newsletter for all our weekly updates. That wraps this episode. It's been fun, but we have to say goodbye for now. Follow our Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at ATAmerica for all our fun contents, event updates, and so much more. That wraps this episode. It's been fun, but we have to say goodbye for now. Follow our. Thanks again, everyone, for joining. My name is James, and I'll see you at the next At America TV episode. Goodbye.